the universe is always responding to how you feel. From what you feel, you're actually creating a field of similar feeling around you, which, if you give it more energy, can manifest in million ways. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Now, that's how the universe brings about the experiences that you want. Hi, this is Satish, and Namaste and Vanakkam. I found something very interesting. I always keep reading something or the other in terms of consciousness or related to consciousness. It's something that kind of excites me. So I kind of found one more, or probably one of the million more uh, experiments that actually says that we interact with a consciousness that is actually spreading everywhere. I mean, there are these atoms that are intelligent, which respond to their own way or under influence. I mean, we're going to see that there is something called the double spread experiment, and I read about it, and it was very interesting. I thought I should make sure that I should make a video about it. Okay, now what it is like I said, we're all energy. I mean, we're basically made of energy. I mean, the physical part, every physical part of us is actually a tool for generating some sort of energy. So we are basically an energy field, and we emit energy basically in how we feel, some actions, maybe when you play sports, even when you play sports or you work out or any physical activity that emits certain amount of energy. And I think the great minds like Tesla or even Einstein, for the matter, they kind of approve to the fact that yes, we are majorly vibrational beings, and we are constantly emitting energy. We're energy bodies. Okay. Now, when I say energy bodies, it goes without saying that we actually constantly keep emitting certain energies, which the source of that energy is basically your emotions. Now, when you feel something, that's the maximum energy your body can emit. I mean, that's the strongest energy or the vibration, if you call it, your body can emit. Now, when that happens, like I said in the last video, it actually interacts with the non-physical space around us, and tends to have its own communication and change the matrix of it, right? Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about a few examples that I've had in my life, how it's kind of manifesting. Very few examples, to just get an idea of how things can work, or what are the ways the universe can actually think and bring about what you want. There was this trip that I took to Chennai a few weeks back. What happened was, before that, I was actually thinking of a lotus for some reason. I have no idea. Maybe I think I dreamt about it or something. For some reason, the lotus was stuck in my mind, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll see it. Maybe somebody will give me a lotus or something. I just left it at that. And what also happened was, we were actually looking for a carpet in terms of, my kid is about a year old, so for him to play, there's alphabetical carpets. That's something that we wanted to get for him. And so in the trip to Chennai, I actually booked a hotel, which was close to my friend's place, actually. Which was close to my friend's place. But I had made the reservations, but it said that hotel is not available. So I had to book another hotel, which is pretty much close, but again, this would have been a lot more convenient. Okay, the booking was done. I booked the other hotel just before the day of travel. The vendor actually calls me up and says, we don't have the particular hotel actually cancelled your reservation, so is there any preference of yours that we can shift you to? So I gave them the hotel that I actually wanted the first, and I got the confirmation saying yes, it's there. And the best part is, I wanted to pay for a hotel which was sort of this price range, but I wanted this hotel, And I just left it at that. I mean, okay, big deal. But what happened was both of them aligned, and I got this hotel, the particular hotel that I wanted to stay for, the hotel rate that I already booked, which is probably half of it. So that's one. So what happens? I go to Chennai, then I have this very close friend of mine who has a tattoo parlor. It was brilliant, by the way. So we just go hang around the shop. What happened? Suddenly he came up with this. I had actually talked to him about, I have this tattoo in my entire arm, so I wanted to cover up my entire arm with a tattoo, and we had designs that we were discussing. But all of a sudden, suddenly he just said, "Let's go put a tattoo for you. Let's put a lotus." We had never discussed about lotus ever before. I don't know how that idea came to his mind. It just sprang, and I said, "Okay, let's go put." And that's the lotus tattoo that I'm talking about. That's two. So when I'm leaving Chennai, this was for the weekend. So almost Sunday evening that I was leaving, then I'm at this friend's place, probably having dinner, and he comes to me and says, "See, I bought an alphabetical carpet for his niece, and she's too old for it. I didn't know he didn't know it. She was too old for it. Anyway, he bought it, and he said, "Would you want it? I mean, you can have it for Ishan." I was like, "Wow, that's the third. That's a very good manifestation. That's something that I wanted, and it just happened." So all of this, the example that I'm talking about is you can call it coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidences. I mean, coincidences probably are just a cooperative incidents that's happening with you. And how it's happening, why it's happening is probably a state of mind that you are in, and whatever is that you've been wanting to create. For example, these three were typical manifestations of what I wanted. So that's just an example. I mean, everybody has these kind of manifestations in their life, but they just don't give enough credit to the source, which is you, which is actually creating those experiences. Now, I was talking about the double slit experiment. I mean, this is an interesting theory. What it says, it's actually a experiment conducted. I think it's for 1950s. Not sure. Okay, it says when you pass a stream of atom with a double split. I mean, I will attach the picture representation of what I'm talking about. A beam of atom is passed through two slits in a wall. And there's a gun that's actually spraying atoms. Now, what happens is you usually find two strips on the pattern. The edge of the screen you find is two slits passing. Now, what happened was they wanted to actually find the path of it. So they actually put another small camera which can detect the passage of atoms. Now, what happened interestingly was when they placed a camera, it actually was a multi-split pattern that was formed in the screen, not just two slits. It was a multi-split, which was probably how a wave would function. Now, this kind of confused. So what they did, they said, okay, let's not observe. And they just took the plug of the camera that was actually reading the passage of the atom. Interestingly, it actually turned back to the double split that was actually formed in the first when there was no monitoring happening. But the camera was still there, but the plug had been pulled off, so for some reason the atoms knew that nobody's watching it. It's just a camera. Now, the inference of all this is there is a certain amount of influence that an observer creates on the reality. For example, the reality is actually created by the observer. So if there was no observer, the patterns that were formed were actually what they call it is particle. Just two slits, no spreading across the slits. But when somebody was actually watching it through the camera, observing it, the atoms actually changed. And interestingly enough, the atoms knew, even though the camera was there, and nobody is watching it. So that basically is the experiment result, that we actually create our own reality. How is it? We are the observers. So it's happening from inside out. It's happening from a source within us that's actually emitting certain vibrations, energy, or aura, or anything that you can call it. Now that is actually creating everything that you want to experience in our life, and this can't be more accurate. If you read quantum physics, quantum physics is actually something that's interesting. I mean, it kind of explores the field of non-physical and explains how we function. That's how I've come to understand it. Anyway, this experiment actually kind of stamped its mark on the study of consciousness, that the observer has a certain amount or predominant or a very powerful effect on the reality, and he can actually modify the reality that can actually happen. There are a few things that we do without our knowledge that actually is probably a few of the techniques, how law of attraction is actually working for you. Now, one is when you dream. When you dream, you actually visualize the entire scenario, from everything that you want to drive, wear, eat, live, party, the people you want to be with, people around you, the experience that you kind of have this dream, right? Now, when you have the dream, you fill in all these details one by one, or you kind of already have these details. Now, when you focus on that deliberately for some time and actually feel good about it, that's one of the tricks that one of the methods that you're doing to create your reality. I mean, I will talk about all of that in detail in different videos, but that's one of the ways. Second is, most people have this habit of writing. When you write, you affirm it in a way where the energy directly passes from you to everywhere else. I mean, you think and you write. I mean, there is just no time. So when you write, you actually make a physical impression of what is it you're actually thinking, and it's a very powerful exercise too, to actually affirm it to that extent. Some people actually live with a lot of gratitude. I mean, that's the best way to live, when you're actually in a place where you're happy. You're probably happy with what's happening, and you're just excited of what's going to happen. That's the state of gratitude that I'm talking about, and that's a very powerful state. You are very positive from where you are with the experiences, and you're looking for more happier interactions or more happier situations in your life. And probably you can also thank that all these experiences are going to come your way. Now, that's the best if you ask me. But again, there are a lot more. Meditation is something that can actually put you in a very calm state of mind, that you can watch your vibrations. Most of us don't watch our vibrations. What is it that we're constantly feeling? It's not, I won't say it's impossible, but it's rather not practical to actually be in a state of expectation or happy all the time. But the key is, think of it as currency. Think of your feelings as currency. I mean, that's the best explanation I can give. So where you're putting your money in, you're putting your money in predominantly feeling good, you're feeling bad. Where you spend that energy, that's what you're creating. And all you have to do is just think whatever you want and feel happy about it. It's already coming or already happened. Bam. You will live the complete manifestation of it, and then you wouldn't want it any other way. That's how it works. That's how the universe brings about everything that you want. And science is now forming a new branch, if I can call it, with spirituality. I would call it spines. They're actually proving all of this, that everything that around us is probably created from within. With more such videos and more interesting facts, I will see you soon. This is Satish. To all your wishes and dreams, Tatastu, inshallah, and so be it.